Hello there, everyone, and welcome to round 4 of Ottercar Season 1 here at the Rockingham Speedway here in Rockingham, North Carolina. I've noticed we have a trend with these tracks that they're all just named of whatever town they're in. It makes remembering things real easy. Rockingham, yeah, that's in Rockingham Speedway. Pretty easy. I'm also here with a special co-commentator who you all are going to have to put up with for the next 3 weeks. Treat him nicely, and I'm sure he will treat you nicely. But he's Australian, so he may just say lots of mean things about your drivers, and you should take it personally and to heart and self-reflect on it.
Did you just say everyone will have to put up with me?
Yeah,
I'm going to kick you out of your own home. Do you understand me?
yeah, I do.
I will murder you in cold blood.
Good. Okay.
Anyway, hello. Yes, I am here also. I am commentating for the first time ever. I don't know what to say. I have already resisted the urge to make the cock joke instead of the rock. So I'm off to a great start. I will let Icy do the heavy lifting for most of this. But yes, I'm here also.
You can hear the enthusiasm in his voice, race fans. But it looks like that qualifying has about been wrapped up. So let's go ahead and take a look down at our starting lineup. That's not the button for the starting lineup. Yeah, we're off to a good start.
I said Icy can take the reins, but he clearly doesn't know what he's doing, so I'm going to have to do it for him.
There we go. There's our starting lineup, presented by our lovely friends at the Hybrid Development Team and the Rainbow Society. Starting off on pole yet again after a dominant performance at Summit Point last week is Peak Comedy himself in the 717 entry. Starting to his outside in the number 21 machine is August. And in row 2, we have for Rainbow Society Team 2 in the 420 machine, and Humongous, his teammate, to the outside of row 2 in the number 621.
Humongous has been tipped to win, so if he doesn't win, something has gone drastically wrong at the race HQ, and we will need to resolve this. Just saying.
Is that a threat?
No, there's no... What? How dare you accuse me? Anyway.
Starting off in the 5th place is Frosty Film, our round 1 winner in that number 7 machine. In 6th place is Piper in the number 8. In 7th place, Drop Table Roster in the 369. In 8th, Maroon in the number 25. In 9th, Dragon Space Queen for Blazed and Drunk Drivers in the 37 entry. In the 10th position, Ben Dover in the 69.
Ha!
In 11th, the Rainbow Society Team 1 driver, Pav in the number 12. And to his outside, Halo in the 0. In 13th place, we have thirds in the number 3 entry. 14th to Valnar in the 776. 15th to Madcap in the 38 machine. 16th to Med in the number 1 entry. 17th to Sarah Saviron in the 117. 18th to Zoe in the number 666 entry.
Did you leave that on by any chance?
No. That's the follower notification.
Oh, yo.
In 19th is Octave in the 11th. In 20th, Bluety Wolf in the 93. 21st to Stick in the 53. 22nd to Felix Marais in the 217. 23rd to Arvo Soberov in the 429. And rounding out our field here today is Lake in the number 330 entry. That said, this track is a mile long, so we only get one pace lap. The pace car is off, and we are getting ready to go racing here at Rockingham.
And we're underway. There it is. Peak Comedy is off to a strong start once again, leading by, well, the race has just begun, but he's already looking pretty confident. Is already up his tail, seeming to gain on him. I've already dropped 3 places. What the fuck? What the I mean, sorry. Humongous has dropped 3 places and is doing expectedly well in the race, shall we say. Maroon has come up from, I believe, 12th, yes, to 10th position. I'm getting used to this race,
Oh,
fans.
and we have trouble back on the backstretch. I'm not quite sure who was involved there, but oh,
Oh,
the caution flag is out for Sarah Saviron.
oh no.
That's
And they disappeared.
yep. Sarah Saviron took the tow back to pit lane. Her car was pretty donezo from whatever just happened there. Only 3 laps into this race so far, and we have our first cautions. You heard it here first, race fans. You wanted cautions. Well, you're gonna get them today, damn it. Let's see if we can't take a look back and figure out just what happened to Sarah Saviron. And it looks like Med and maybe a few other drivers had troubles there. Looking here at Sarah Saviron in the black and red 117 machine, it looks like maybe Med pushed it 3 wide and
Oh,
collected Valnar, and there was nowhere Sarah could go to avoid that. We talk a lot about patience here in especially in oval racing, and sometimes this restart is the place to make positions, but sometimes you do not want to be throwing it 3 wide on lap 2.
oh.
That's generally a good way to end up with hurt feelings and broken race cars.
Yeah, it's a shame. These 90-year-old race car drivers are really trying their best, but unfortunately, this is just the way the game goes. With now new patented technology, caution snipers in effect around the racetrack to try and spice this race up a bit. You never know who will become victim next, and it just so happens that Sarah Saviron bit the dust to appease the great gods of racing.
Indeed. Let's see if we can get. Let's ride on board with Zoe. It looks like Zoe might have gotten a pretty good view of the shenanigans that just occurred there. So riding on board with the 666 entry of Zoe. You can see Valnar getting pushed way up high off the track. Med pushes it 3 wide,
Oh,
and it doesn't work out. And it looks like Zoe, Octave, and a few others are going to lose a bunch of positions just from having to check up to avoid that wreck. So, very unfortunate start to this race, but you know who's not complaining is our new race leader, Mr. August, in that 21 machine.
there he is.
There he is. I've got to say, black and white, not a color combo that we see very much. Most drivers opt to make their cars very vibrant and sometimes a little bit over the top, not pointing any fingers, peak comedy. But sometimes simple is clean, and that number 21 entry looks very nice.
They also win points for generally just having a cute OC. That is immediately one way to up your standing in the eyes of this race commentator. I see as a sociopathic bastard and probably doesn't care, but this personal commentator believes that that will win you extra favor in the eyes of the racing gods. Praise be.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that sort of logic. The racing gods do work in mysterious ways, but unfortunately, me as race control cannot award additional points to people with cute personas, because unfortunately, that would alienate our, I believe, 2 drivers that are not furries.
For shame, for shame.
Especially because one of them is our pole sitter this race and also won last week's race. So I think it might be a little unfortunate if I gave him a penalty for his beautiful car design
Yeah.
and his lack of his OC though. But that said, the pace car's off. We are getting ready to go green flag racing here again at Rockingham.
It only took 4 laps under caution
It
out of a
only
50
it only
lap
took
race.
4 laps to clean up The big ol' mess that was everything that just unfolded there.
August leading strong. Humongous taking the inside lane. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know who most of these people are. I just have my eye on 621, Humongous.
Of course.
But
621 Humongous
some
flying all the
abomination.
way out here from Australia to compete in the AI Racing League. We do have good
Oh!
news. Oh, a little bit of trouble back there, but it looks like everyone managed to keep it going. I think that was Blue. Oh,
Oh,
nope.
that's not
Blue's
going so
car
good.
is stopped on the straightaway. If he's not able to get going here in a few seconds, yep, the caution flag is out yet again. Very unfortunate for the driver of that number 93. He's been having a bit of difficulty lately, which is a tad bit ironic because he is the only driver in the Ottercar AI Racing League that actually competes on iRacing.com. But sometimes that's just how it goes. Let's see if we can take a look back and see what happened to Bloody Wolf in that 93. Already looking at this freeze frame, we're pushed 3 wide. These cars are way closer together than they need to be. This looks like
An
just
accident
trouble
waiting to
waiting
happen.
to happen. And sure enough, it looks like a bit of a replay of what happened last time. Drivers pushed it 3 wide that really should not have been pushing it 3 wide. Lake involved, Bloody Wolf involved. I'm not sure who the third person involved there was. It looks like, oh, Zoe in the 666 entry had a bit of involvement there.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
got a little too close to her rivals, and wow, that was quite a wall ride. No wonder he stopped after that. Wasn't feeling so good.
Thankfully, the catch fence is indestructible in the iRacing.com platform. Otherwise, we might have had a bit of a red flag situation to repair all that. But here on the iRacing.com platform, we don't have red flags. We're too cool for that.
If you
Yeah.
die, you
If
die.
you die, you die.
It's fine. This is a pit sport. This is like the Roman Empire has come back just to witness more racing at Rockingham Speedway, North Carolina.
Of
And
course.
we must praise the imperial gods above with blood, blood sacrifices, blood for the blood god. Sorry.
Listen, if that's what it takes to get racing back here at the real world Rockingham Speedway, I'm all for it.
This is
Their
fine.
last NASCAR race held at this track was at 2004, and it's still widely considered one of the closest finishes in NASCAR history between, I want to say, Matt Kenseth and Casey Kane. You're gonna have to fact check me on that one.
I personally believe it was Rusty Williams and Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
They were competing in that race. It was a real heated time.
Yeah, but they had their last race here at 2004. They stopped having racing. NASCAR decided to bail on them, and the track kind of just let itself get decayed. And then up in 2018, it got bought out by a new investment company, and it has been since renamed to Rockingham Entertainment Complex. And from what I understand, they host like concerts and stuff in the infield, but they sure as heck aren't driving on the track at all.
So they still have the track. It's
They
just
still have the track. They don't really race on it. But their hope has not been given up yet on this track because North Carolina's state government has given monetary grants to Charlotte Motor Speedway, North Wilkesboro Speedway, and here at Rockingham because I think they recognize the tourist value of these 3 tracks, and so they're investing in them.
they hope to see a rebound in motorsport racing in North Carolina, and so taking sensible investment into that future.
Yeah, after all, I mean, North Carolina is widely seen as pretty much the hub of motorsport racing here in the United States. It's pretty much where all of this began, and it's where I think the largest majority of NASCAR tracks in any state is.
North Carolina.
I think so. That
Oh,
sounds about right.
fair enough. It is a big place, and it is well and truly in the demographic of people who love a bit of NASCAR. So yeah,
Yeehaw.
yeehaw,
Pace
boy.
car is off. Oh, you know, and that 420 machine is our new race leader. We'll have to see just how far this driver can hold on to it. We've had lots of lead changes here today, and I get the feeling that this will not be the last.
You say, oh, being in first is a change, but for the last two races, I think he's been in such a dominant position. I'm almost hoping he gets murked by one of the snipers waiting on the racetrack.
We're pushing it 3 wide again. I don't like that, especially this far up in the front. These drivers are not
Oh,
afraid to put their elbows out.
there was some wheel contact, I believe.
Oh, that's a scary sight. Yep,
Oh
there
my
we
god!
go.
Oh boy!
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. 14 laps in, 3 cautions. I think we've got approximately 3 or 4 laps of green flag racing done
We've had
here
about
today.
3. We had 1.5 at the beginning. We had maybe 2 in between that first and second caution, and that was one heck of a stack up right there.
This is what happens. We go 2 races flawless in terms of cautions, and these drivers have some pent up rage they need to get out apparently because that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at
9
least 9 cars involved in that incident.
and Arvo Soborov.
Maroon, Valnar, Drop Table Roster, Octave, Arvo Soborov, Pav, Halo Piper, Zoe, Arvo Soborov again. And that's just the drivers that the automated wreck detector picked up. There's likely even more cars that got involved in that whole incident that weren't detected on the live timing and scoring.
Yeah, that's basically the entire latter half of that track. The entire 50% of the people in the back half, and then Zoe right at the end there, still holding it together after their last kerfuffle. Their car's not doing so hot.
Yeah, it does look like the source of the whole incident started with Mr. Drop Table Roster in the 369. We still have no clue who this guy is or how he got here. Drivers say that he just kind of appears on the track during qualifying, and I don't think anyone has ever seen his face. No one's seen his hauler come in or leave the track.
Yeah.
When everyone's looking away, he just kind of shows up, and it looks like he was not having it here tonight in that 369 machine.
The race commentator would like to mention that Icy has not installed Counter-Strike Source, so we may never know what his car truly looks like.
This is true. We have not installed Counter-Strike Source here on the iRacing.com platform. Let's see if we can get an onboard view back. Let's look back with Zoe. I think Zoe might have gotten a good view of what happened here. So let's ride on board with Zoe in the 666 entry. She is a bit far back. She is several laps down. She did get engine damage from the previous wreck, and it looks like she actually is a bit too far back to see what happened. That's fair. Okay. Let's, in that case, ride on board with Arvo Soborov in the number 429 machine.
Who withstood 2 incidents picked up by the auto detector in this one single crash. So, oh yeah, that was not
Out
so
of
good.
everyone involved in that, he did not get very much damage. I think this little contact right there is probably what registered as the second incident for him.
You can you can see his hands having a. Arvo Soborov had a temporary seizure behind the wheel there. Forgive his hands going absolutely sicko mode.
Can you blame him? I would be shaky after having that happen in front of me.
I'd
They
be
were
shaky,
going like
but not like 30
upwards,
Benadryl.
upwards of 120 kilometers an hour, I believe, once they get to top speed. Probably more than that. I don't know my conversions, but they're going at the top speed these cars can go. And when you have something like that happening in front of you, that can shake someone, even if they are a professional race car driver.
Of course, of course. And what it has functionally done in terms of the numbers in this field have been decimated. We're down to, I think, 11 real competition in this race. Maybe Arbo Sovorov, maybe not because of severe car damage. Everyone else is either in the pit or several laps down. So basically, we're looking at 10 or 11 drivers fighting for number 1 place.
pretty much. And, oh, still our race leader as the pace car is getting ready to go off again.
For all who are asking, you can sponsor the pace car anytime you like. It is very likely this race will finish under caution, given the way it's already going. So if you wanna bet on the pace car winning this race, dial 983-324 and PayPal me. I mean, PayPal the race $7,000.
Yeah, huh. Good to know. Shout out to our race's biggest mover, actually. We were just talking about him, Mr. Arvo Soborov, currently up 13 positions from where he qualified.
Well-
He has really worked these... Why are we 3 wide again?
Oh,
Stop that. Thirds. No. Bad. Stop. Stop. You're too fast.
Thirds wants the 3 wide. Thirds wants 3 wide.
Of
That makes
course,
sense.
that does make sense. Thirds is really pushing to gain position. She's up 8 spots from where she qualified and is on a heck of a run here, but
Humongous is up her ass right now, trying to edge in that next position. Not willing to go 3 wide, but still putting the pressure on. Maybe, what's that called? Drafting? Aero? Something?
drafting, yeah, that's
Drafting.
right.
Yep, yeah.
Oh, Humongous dives it down to the low side. He might be able to pull off a pass here. The low line
Never mind.
generally a little bit better, but when these drivers are going full speed, there's a lot that has to be taken into consideration, and there actually are multiple viable lines here.
Number 37, Dragon Queen.
Dragon
has
Space
entered
Queen is
the
our new
lead,
race leader.
representing the country of Transnistria. Out in front, flag of Transnistrians worldwide. This is not a very funny joke if people don't understand it. I see you're not helping.
I don't
I don't get
understand
it.
it.
It's fine.
I can't work off of you here when I don't get the joke. But we're pushing it almost 3 wide for the lead there. It looks like made the pass happen, but all 3 of these drivers still very much in contention here.
Oh, Ashley has been pushed up the far side of the curve. That might slow her down a bit. But it seems like everyone, we have 3 by 3 drafting behind each other, trying to edge out the lead. Still can't unhinge Dewey from that number 1 spot until Ashley takes a correct turn, or an optimized turn, and winds up a whole quarter second ahead of the rest of the pack. That was quite impressive, given everyone's going flat out right now.
Yeah, these drivers, they're willing to use all of the track to try and make positions work. It looks like there's pretty equal amounts of people trying to make passes and people just trying to block the rest of the field from passing them, respectively. Pretty much all of the racing surface here seems to be pretty viable depending on your strategy. For most of the tracks we've been to, there's been a very definite preferred line around the speedway, but here drivers are all over the place. They're using everything that's been given to them, no matter what.
Yes, that's a bit of a callback to last week's episode, where everyone was kind of head to tail, and for the entire 30 minutes of racing, which is, well, you like to see it. You like to see good, clean racing, but when we're out for the blood god, it can be a little underwhelming. On the other hand, this is a much more varied and very messed up race. I think 7 people are in hospital at the time of writing, at the time of recording. We don't know how many more will never be racing again. Some people may not live to see the end of the day, but that's much more exciting from a commentary perspective than last week's episode.
Of course. I do believe Sarah Saviron might be in the infield care center right now. She's completed 2 laps of the race and has yet to get back in her car. That is a little bit scary, but hopefully our Ottercar drivers are doing okay. We do want trouble back in the pack. Or I think that was thirds or August, maybe? It looks like everyone kept it going, but there was a little bit of a hiccup there.
There seems to be a bit of sabotage, because Arvo Soborov has climbed up the roster from, I believe, 23rd place into 7th. That is one of the largest jumps in position we've seen all season, and they continue to dish it out. They continue to rise up the ranks, even probably surpassing Humongous here in a minute. They're looking for the opportunity, and not getting it. Fuck you, Lashak. Fuck you.
You do have to
Pop.
consider that Lish and or Arvo and Humongous are both teammates as well as thirds. These three drivers are all together representing the Rainbow Society. That said, that is not going to stop them from competing for this race win. Team orders, screw those. Everyone is out for themselves. There is no cooperation between these drivers. I wouldn't say they're out for blood, but they are.
They want to go home at the end of the day and see their families, unlike the other 10 drivers that have been put in hospital, if not severely handicapped. So it doesn't matter about the teams. Loyalty is dead. You must win, or you die.
Well, I think these drivers, if they wanted to go home not in a stretcher, they should have simply not crashed.
They should have not.
That's
crashed.
generally like a pretty sound way of looking at things. They should have just not crashed.
In the industry, one might call that a skill issue.
Indeed.
It's a bit of a skill issue.
What's
Speaking of
not a
issues,
skill issue is Dragon Space Queen and Frosty Film duking it out for these lead. These two drivers have been neck and neck almost all race, and they're pretty similar on pace. Frosty Film was only a thousandth of a second faster than Dragon Space Queen last time by. His best lap is only 5 thousandths of a second better than Dragon Space Queen. So these drivers are very similar in pace, but these things do add up over the course of a race.
Yeah, you can see the top 4 positions here are almost a whole second and a half ahead of the rest of the pack. They're really all just these 4 drivers all competing for this top spot, changing interchangeably basically, handing a position away here, getting it back there. But now it seems, Dragon Space Queen, Peak Comedy, and Frosty Film are all kind of in the going for it. Winky Face is a little bit behind, but it is really just these 3.
And we have caught up to our first lap car. Octave about to go down a lap. He is the last driver on the lead lap.
Oh.
Not anymore, though.
And he is holding back Peak Comedy. He held back Peak Comedy. There looked to be an overtake, but he was stuck behind the 25-second down Octave car. So that must have really been a wedge in his plans.
Octave is an independent driver here in Ottercar, but I would not be surprised if he is trying to help Dragon Space Queen just a little bit. She does have a lot to think about. She's about to push it 3 wide with 2 former race winners, so she's not just battling for a win here, but she's battling with 2 drivers who have proven they have what it takes to win. And that must be a whole bunch of pressure on her. That said, is back up in contention, and he is not afraid to use that bumper. He has been absolutely riding the tail end of Peak Comedy and Frosty Film. Trying to find any sort of grip, as now Humongous is back up in the mix. That whole second pack's completely caught up now, pretty much.
Yeah, through some act of violence or God, Humongous is now in 4th position, edging ahead of the rest of the pack, and now breathing down the neck of Dragon Space Queen. Not quite sure how Dragon Space Queen dropped those places, but she's dropping, and I don't know why. This is a bit unfortunate.
It is. It's possible she's just used up those tires. That said, we do have more traffic in play. Felix Marais is currently about 6 or 7 laps down. No, he's 20 laps down. I can do math. All these drivers are finally starting to get their cars in a drivable condition to get them back out on the speedway, and they're doing everything they can to try and get any sort of position back, because even if you are 26 laps down, you could still pass someone whose car is broken down in the pit lane.
Yes. I commentated on the passing of Dragon Space Queen by Humongous, but it seems I've exacted my just revenge. The great nation of trans people have overtaken E621, 621, the logo, and Australia. This is a sad nation.
And now Arvo Sovorov is trying to go for the pass too, and Thirds is sending it 3 wide. We could have a spot of danger here, but it looks like Thirds does back out of it a little bit.
Yep, Thirds is going to have to cope and seethe while Humongous retains his lead in this little trio pack. We're all on the same team. However, that is exactly what is being said over the radio right now. Um, let's
Is it
patch
is
into
that
the
something
radio.
along the lines of we're all on the same team, so don't pass me?
Yes, that probably was it, and also Cope and Seed.
Yes, of course. Nothing better than the sense of camaraderie we have here in Ottercar, where we tell not only our fellow competitors, but our teammates to cope and seethe.
It is the motto that some drivers live by, such as Pete Comedy, who has once again regained a lead that he so dominantly held last race and started in this race. He has suffered almost no changes in his position whatsoever, and despite not having even the best lap time, he's just consistently outperforming on average all the other races combined.
Well, we still have 7 laps to go in this race. We've seen some drivers make some very daring moves and some very interesting and sometimes unexpected passes. So there's still very much a chance that Dragon Space Queen and Frosty Film could catch up to our leader here today. That said, they're gonna have to stop battling each other for second if they want a chance to get up to first, because right now driving side by side is only really slowing them down.
The comedy is consistently taking a better line than these two dueling for second, and so in the war for second place, they may just miss out on the ultimate goal. This is greed, people. This is a sad sight to see. We truly live in a society.
It may be greed, but Dragon Space Queen is definitely out to set a name for herself. She's currently battling with Frosty Film, who is a previous race winner, and Pete Comedy, who is also a previous race winner. So she definitely has some stiff competition to get around here with 5 laps to go. Make that more like 4 as we round out of turn 4. Humongous, however, starting to make a little bit of ground back. He could still be in contention for a podium finish here. He just has to make up about a little under half of a second of deficit in these next 4 laps.
I will remind everyone watching that Humongous was predicted by official race officials to win this race, and that if he does not, then who knows what may happen? Who knows what may happen?
Who knows?
Do you want to mention that?
Do
Do
I?
you? Do you? No, it's all right.
Well, he is certainly giving it his best shot to try and make these positions back with 3 laps to go. Currently, our closest battle on the speedway between Ben Dover and Arvo Soberov, and closely followed behind by Oh You Know and August and Madcap. Ben Dover does successfully make the pass on Arvo. The big peace sign is up in the air. 2 more laps to go around the speedway. And it looks like these drivers still are very close in contention. These are the last cars on the lead lap, but they are not giving up here at the Rockingham Speedway. That said, it does look like Pete Comedy has this on the bag, unless he somehow seriously messes up this final corner.
This is the final corner.
This is the final corner.
Oh boy.
Pete Comedy, now our first 2-time winner here in the Ottercar AI Racing League, in that number 17 very, very lovely tour modified car.
It is a slightly busy design. I'm not going to lie, I'm not exactly sure what's on it, but I'm not sure I want to know either. But there he is, celebrating with his little traditional win in first place, going into the inside lane and pulling into pit for the first time this race, having caused or inflicted so many other drivers to enter the pit lane. Though I say that, I don't think he actually caused any of those accidents. I just hate his guts.
You never know. I mean, his car may be radiating 5G radiation, and that could be affecting the drivers a little bit. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that paint scheme, but there could be something deeper going on here with that 717 entry.
He has support from the Illuminati, and that's all you need to know. That's all you need.
That's all you need. But that has been our race here at the Rockingham Speedway. Let's take a quick look back at our official race results here at Ottercar.
You can see the action replay of the thirds doing her best to ruin the race with a three stack or three wide stack. I think at times, or at a certain time, there was a four wide stack,
I
and
would not be surprised.
absolutely not. And I'm sure that went well for everyone involved. But here we are, read it out.
Here we are, getting his second race win and being our first two-time winner here with Ottercar is Pete Comedy in the number 717 machine. Followed closely behind him is Dragon Space Queen in the 37 with her best finish in Ottercar. She put up a heck of a fight here today, but unfortunately she just could not hold on to it in the end. In third place, Frosty Film in the number 7, getting another podium after securing a win in his first race, and I believe he also got another podium at Southern National, if I remember correctly. In fourth place, Humongous in the 621, also being a very competitive driver here tonight. He was involved in a wreck in our earlier races, but he had fortune go his way here tonight. I think that having his radio open in the booth at all times did help give him some confidence, knowing that there were people rooting for him.
There are some physical and non-physical people rooting for him right now, with real and non-real consequences for his actions.
In fifth place is thirds in the number 3 machine, rounding out our top 5. In sixth place, Arbo Sobrov in the 429 with one of his most dominant finishes here in the league.
He also started 23rd place and has wound up 6th, so that is an increase of 17 positions. That is the highest increase. That is the best comeback story we've ever seen in Ottercar racing, and I would like to give a shout out to that. Good job. Win next time. Thanks.
You never know. There's still 8 races left in the season.
This is true. This is true. There's always time to win more
There
points
is
back.
always time to win more points back. In seventh place in the 69, Ben Dover. In 8th, August in the 21. 9th to OU No in the 420. 10th to Madcap in the 38. 11th to Octave in the number 11 machine. 12th to Zoe in the 666 entry. 13th to Stick in the 53. 14th to Piper in the number 8. 15th to Med in the number 1, who actually, as much as I hate to say it, I think that is Med's best finish in the league so far.
Med has had extremely bad luck.
She really has.
It's just been, I consistently remember the first 3 races just getting involved in accidents, being 30 laps down. It's not been a great time for her, or in fact, Sarah Saviran, who we'll see later down this list.
Yeah, Sarah has had a lot of bad luck here at the Ottercar Racing League, but hey, still plenty of time to turn that luck around.
Mm-hmm.
In 16th place is Lake in the 330. 17th to our mystery man himself, Drop Table Roster in the 369. 18th to Felix Marais in the 217. 19th to Maroon in the 25. 20th to Valnar in the 776. 21st to Bloody Wolf in the 93, 22nd to Halo in the 0, 23rd to Pav in the 12, and finally, rounding out the field for the second time this season, in the number 117 machine, is Sarah Saviran. But that's all we got for y'all here at the Rockingham Speedway. Next week, we go to, I want to say, Martinsville. We're going to Martinsville next week. That's going to be I don't know if I can say what that's going to be on stream, but that's going to be something. And do you have any closing statements, Mr. Guest Commentator?
I'm gonna break Icy's kneecaps. I'm gonna take him out the back. I'm gonna break Icy's kneecaps, and he's gonna regret being born. Anyway, hope you all have a wonderful day. I've been your guest commentator for this week and hopefully the next 2 weeks. I see maybe dead next week as a result of tonight, but I can't say I didn't warn him. Um, I'm very funny. I'm so funny.
You are.
I'm so funny.
Well, if our guest commentator becomes the sole commentator of Ottercar for the rest of the season, then you know what happened. Call the police, please. But thank you all. We will see you both next week at the Martinsville Speedway. Have a good afternoon, race fans.